Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we're taking a deep dive into a country that's essentially a vertical slice of Earth, stretching from the world's driest desert all the way down to icy glaciers.
Yeah, Chile.
We are talking about the incredible wonders of Chile as a travel destination.
And our guide for this journey, the source we've been digging into, is a really comprehensive look from flightandhotels.com. It's called The Complete Guide to Travel in Chile.
Oh, okay.
It's absolutely packed with, fascinating insights.
Right, so our mission, basically to pull out the most important nuggets from this guide, give you a shortcut, sort of, to being well-informed about what makes Chile so unique.
And maybe spark some ideas for planning a trip.
Exactly. And the first thing that just leaps out from this guide, and it really defines the country, is its geography.
Oh, it's truly extraordinary. I mean, imagine a country over 4,300 kilometers long, but incredibly narrow.
Yeah.
That sheer length creates this almost unbelievable range of environments, all within one nation.
From the Atacama.
Right, the bone-dry Atacama Desert in the north.
Yeah.
Down to the dramatic glacial fjords and peaks of Patagonia way down south.
And that unique shape, it directly translates into the compelling reasons the guide gives for why you should visit.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond just the geography, it highlights adventure, a rich culture, world-class wine, and even astronomy tourism.
Yeah, and what's interesting is how interconnected those things are, The extreme landscapes are the adventure.
Right.
The long coastline influences the culture, the food, and those clear high-altitude deserts, perfect for looking up at the stars.
Exactly. So let's dive deeper then into that core appeal the guide lays out. Why Chile? It really does start with that unparalleled geographical diversity.
It really does. You get deserts, yes, but also these vast lakes, towering mountains, dense forests, massive glaciers, and thousands of kilometers of coastline.
Wow.
It's hard to think of anywhere else that packs so much variation into one place.
And that variety fuels the whole adventure scene. The guide talks about iconic experiences like challenging hikes in Patagonia.
The classic treks, yeah.
But also unique thrills like sandboarding down dunes in the Atacama, which sounds amazing.
It does. And beyond the natural world, there's this vibrant culture, too. The guide touches on indigenous traditions blending with colonial history and then a very modern urban pulse, especially in the cities.
And you can't really talk about Chile without mentioning wine.
But definitely not.
The guide emphasizes vineyard tours and, well, for good reason, Chilean wines have such a global reputation now.
Mm-hmm. And something that's becoming, increasingly unique to Chile is the astronomy tourism.
Ah, yes.
The incredibly clear, stable skies, particularly up in the northern desert regions. It's the high altitude, minimal light pollution.
Makes sense.
It just makes it one of the absolute best places on the planet for starbasing, or even visiting major observatories.
It really highlights the different types of trips you could have there. Okay, so the guide then sort of takes us on a tour, right? Highlighting several key destinations. Let's maybe journey through some of the top spots it recommends, starting, I guess, with the capital.
Santiago. Yeah, the guide describes it as this dynamic, bustling metropolis, but always with the snow-capped Andes kind of looming right there.
That backdrop must be stunning.
It is a really dramatic setting.
And it points out key areas to explore, like the historic sort of bohemian neighborhoods. Bella Vista is one.
Mm-hmm. Very colorful.
The significant La Moneda Palace. And definitely taking the funicular or cable car up San Cristobal Hill. You get those incredible panoramic views of the city against the mountains.
The essential view, yeah. The guide also lists specific spots you really shouldn't miss in Santiago itself.
Okay, like what?
Right. It calls out the Museo Chileno de Arte Precolombino. That's for a look at ancient cultures.
Okay.
The lively Central Market, Mercado Central, for local flavors and, just the atmosphere.
Love a good market.
And the Sky Costanera. That gives you a really modern perspective from South America's tallest building.
Wow. Okay, so from the energy of the capital, the guide then dramatically shifts gears and takes us way, way up north to the Atacama Desert. How does it describe this landscape?
It calls it the driest desert on Earth. And frankly, otherworldly.
Otherworldly.
And it really looks and feels that way. Vast, empty plains, incredible rock formations, colors you just don't see anywhere else.
That sounds incredible.
Yeah.
What are the key highlights the guide mentions there?
Well, exploring places like Valle de la Luna Moon Valley.
Aptly named, I guess.
It really is. It feels like walking on the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Visiting the El Tadio geysers, ideally at sunrise, to see the steam columns rising.
Oh, wow.
The just unparalleled stargazing opportunities around the town of San Pedro de Atacama.
Right, building on the astronomy point.
Exactly, and spotting flamingos in the high-altitude lagoons like Choxa Lagoon. The nearest airport for this region, by the way, is in Calama.
Good tip. Okay, now, if we travel, like, all the way south.
Complete opposite end.
Yeah. We enter the legendary region of Patagonia, and specifically Torres del Paine National Park. The guide presents this as, well, a dream destination for trekkers and nature lovers.
Absolutely. It's iconic in Chile's extreme south.
And the W Trek, that famous multi-day hike through the park's dramatic valleys and past its granite towers, that's highlighted as a quintessential experience.
It is. But even if you're not up for the full trek, you can still see glaciers and icebergs at Lago Grey.
Oh, cool.
And encounter amazing wildlife, like guanacos that are related to llamas and majestic condors soaring overhead.
Just picturing that.
What's fascinating here, and the guide illustrates it well, is that immense contrast. Going from the intense heat and dryness of Atacama to the icy peaks and, frankly, unpredictable weather of Patagonia. They feel like different planets sometimes.
Totally different worlds in one country. And for something completely different again, you can actually fly off the continent to Easter Island, Rapa Nui.
Yeah. The guide emphasizes its incredible isolation and, of course, the world-famous, very mysterious Moai statues.
The giant heads. So what are the must-sees there, according to the guide?
Okay, so it points to the Ranararaku Quarry.
Yeah.
That's basically the Moai factory where they carved the statues.
Oh, yes.
The impressive Ahutangariki. That's the one with the line of 15 standing Moai right by the coast.
Wow, 15.
Yeah, it's quite a sight. And Anakena Beach, which is this beautiful sandy spot, also with some Moai nearby. It notes you typically fly there from Santiago.
Right, makes sense. Okay, back to the mainland, but buzzing with a totally different kind of energy. Valparaiso.
Ah, Valpo, yeah.
The guide paints this as a bohemian port city, a vibrant maze of colorful houses just clinging to steep hillsides.
Stacked on top of each other.
Covered in incredible street art, just bursting with creative energy.
Totally. Popular spots at lists include just wandering through the picturesque hillside neighborhoods like Cerro Alegre and Cerro Concepcion.
Just getting lost in the streets.
Exactly. Riding the historic ascensors, those are the unique old funiculars that climb the steep hills.
Oh, the elevators, yeah.
And visiting La Sebastiana, that's one of the houses of the famous Chilean poet Pablo Neruda, offers fantastic views and, insights into his life.
Cool. Okay, moving further south again, the guide introduces us to the picturesque Lake District.
Yeah, beautiful region characterized by stunning volcanoes, shimmering lakes, and these charming towns that have a noticeable German influence, like Porto Varas, Fruit Tiller.
German influence. Interesting. What does the guide suggest doing there?
Well, getting out on the water is a big one. Kayaking or fishing in a lake like a massive Lake Lenquyu.
Nice.
Visiting powerful natural landmarks like Osorno volcano. It's very, very prominent. And just immersing yourself in the local culture and cuisine. Maybe catch one of the regional festivals if you time it right.
Sounds lovely. And finally, for something really unique, maybe a bit off the beaten path, the guide points towards the Chile archipelago.
Ah, yes, Chile. It's quite different.
How so?
Well, this chain of islands is known for its really distinct culture, particularly its unique wooden churches. Many are UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Its rich folklore and mythology, lots of legends there. It's palafitos.
Palafitos.
Yeah, those are the colorful houses built on stilts right over the water. You see them especially in the town of Castro.
Oh, yeah, I think I've seen pictures of those.
Probably. And incredible seafood. Beyond Castro's palafitos, the guide mentions exploring Chiloé National Park and maybe seeking out local markets or mythology tours to really get a feel for the island's character.
That sounds like a real adventure in itself.
Yeah.
So, okay, that's a whirlwind tour of some of the guide's highlights. North, south, island. But the guide also includes essential practical travel tips. Always crucial.
Absolutely. Can't forget the practical stuff. It covers things like visa requirements, noting that citizens from many countries, U.S., Canada, most EU nations typically don't need a visa for tourists, stays under 90 days.
Always good to check, but that's helpful. And deciding the best time to visit. Well, it's not exactly a one-size-fits-all answer for Chile, is it? Because it's so long.
Not at all. The guide helpfully breaks it down. Summer, which is December to February down there.
Right, Southern Hemisphere.
Exactly. That's generally best for exploring the southern regions like Patagonia and the Lake District. Spring and fall offer pleasant weather, good for visiting Santiago and the wine regions.
Makes sense.
And winter, June to August, that's when you'd go for skiing in the Andes Mountains near Santiago.
Got it. Currency is the Chilean peso, CLP, and language.
Spanish is the official language everywhere,
Yeah.
but you'll generally find English speakers, readily available in major tourist areas, hotels, that sort of thing.
Okay.
This does raise a question, though, doesn't it? Given the immense distances and all the varying terrain, how does a traveler effectively, navigate and connect all these incredible, but sometimes quite remote places?
Which brings us neatly to how the guide presents planning your trip, specifically using flightandhotels.com as the resource it's published on.
Right. It's framed as this kind of all-in-one platform, designed to simplify travel planning across this, complex geography.
Yeah, the guide details its features. You can compare and book flights, finding fares into the major hubs like Santiago, or southern gateways like Punta Arenas for Patagonia.
Or even flights out to Easter Island.
Right. And it helps with booking hotels, too, offering a whole range, from luxury resorts to budget-friendly options, with filters to help you find exactly what you need: price, rating, location, amenities.
Super useful. And crucially, for actually exploring those diverse landscapes. I mean, think about driving the scenic routes in the Lake District, or needing flexibility in Atacama or Patagonia.
Yeah, a car seems essential sometimes.
Right. The guide mentions you can also rent cars through the platform from various agencies.
Okay.
And the convenience factor is key, isn't it? It's accessible 24/7 from anywhere, putting the tools to plan your Chilean adventure right at your fingertips.
So wrapping it all up, what's the ultimate takeaway from this guide? What's the feeling it leaves you with?
The source really hammers home the feeling that Chile is more than just visiting a country. It's an immersive experience.
Immersive. I like that.
Yeah. It suggests that with its vast contrasting landscapes, its deep culture, the warmth of its people, any journey there really has the potential to become, truly unforgettable.
And the final encouragement is pretty simple and direct, isn't it? The guide basically urges you to start planning your own Chilean adventure today.
Mm-hmm.
Suggests, naturally, flightandhotels.com as a resource for making that travel seamless.
It certainly makes you pause and think, though. I mean, given the sheer, almost mind-boggling range of environments and experiences packed into this one country, stretching from the absolute driest desert on Earth all the way down to the icy, dramatic tips of glaciers.
Yeah.
What kind of immersive experience in Chile resonates most strongly with you personally? And I guess, where would you even begin to explore such a world of wonders?